What is up, guys? This is Freddy from Game Hut, and today we are back with a new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Web Slinger challenge that came out yesterday, and I want to cover mistakes that I made whenever I was playing this. I actually ended up clearing this 100% yesterday, but looking back at the footage that I recorded, I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm hoping that this can somehow help you. I'm actually working on a guide, hopefully get it out soon. I'm going to try to test out a few champions to help us get through the harder champions in this. But until then, I want to give this will be kind of like a review slash just gameplay overall about the challenge. And I try to use champions that aren't new. I think the newest champion that I had on the roster was probably Electra. And most of these were rank 4 stars. I did have two rank 5 4 stars in the roster, Electra and Wolverine, but I'm pretty sure you can replace these with just rank 4s. So the first champion that was in the challenge was actually a Spider-Man, and this Spider-Man had critical damage increase and a critical rate increase, along with fissure, which just means armor break each time he lands a hit. So with this Spider-Man, honestly, he shouldn't be much of a problem. He's not stun immune, he's not debuff immune, so that means you can parry him, and you can just repeat the whole hit him 3 times, parry, hit him 3 times until he's down. If you want to use an evade reducer, then go ahead. I'm using Electra here, but a lot of people didn't even use an ability reducing champion. And if you just do the whole parry, hit, rinse and repeat, you should be fine. This isn't a really difficult fight. Use that lifesteal to your advantage, as well as if he lands a few armor breaks on you, that's fine. If you have the willpower mastery, you should be able to heal up. That should help you heal up as well. So don't worry if you get hit. Just take it slow. Pace yourself. This isn't a race. Just make sure you're not making mistakes. Don't try to evade that L1. It's not unblockable. So that fight should not be too hard if you're fighting slow and pacing yourself. The next one we have is the Symbiote Spider-Man, and this one has an unblockable level 1 and martial mastery. So that means every 6 hits he stuns you, which this one might look intimidating, and I know it definitely did for me. I tried to use Doctor Strange, but I ended up using Scarlet Witch, and she did a way better job than Doctor Strange in getting that evade buff off him after using a special. So what you want to do here is, ideally you want to push him to his L2 so you don't have to worry about that unblockable L1. With Scarlet Witch, what you can do is just, if you're lucky enough, get a power lock on him or power drain. And the good thing about Scarlet Witch is, yeah, she's not as good as she used to be, but she's still very good. And even if you just have a 3-star, I'm pretty sure you can get it will get the job done with the Spider-Man. You see right there, I messed up. I got hit. I'm not really good at evading that L1 unless I'm very far away from him. But as you can see, that life transfer really does help you. And that's one of the things that makes this challenge not as hard as the previous challenges, is because you can get your health back after being hit so many times. As you can see here, I made a lot of mistakes, but just as that life transfer really does help you. I actually ended up the fight with the majority of my health back, so that's always good. The next champion that we're gonna fight is actually a Spider-Gwen, and I know she really shouldn't be hard. Her Spider-Gwen, as well as the next champion, they're really more of just punching bags. They're mostly there just to tire you out, and so try to just get these fights over with as soon as possible. I'm bringing in Wolverine. You can bring in anyone who inflicts bleed, Black Panther or Hawkeye, whoever you want. Just try to get this champion down as soon as possible. If you can, avoid letting Spider-Gwen get to her L1 because she does get an evade buff depending on what stance she's in, and it can be annoying. But other than that, try not to even. I got hit with her L3 a few times. It doesn't matter. Lifesteal really does help you. I'm sorry, life transfer really does help you a lot in that regard in getting your health back. Stupefy, don't worry about it. I'm not a huge expert on Spider-Gwen. If we have a few experts watching this, if you're really knowledgeable on Spider-Gwen, and I don't know, I think only her L2 has the capabilities of stunning, but other than that, I don't think she can stun with anything else, and the L2 is pretty easy to evade. So again, just try to get this champion down as fast as possible. The longer the fight is, the more susceptible you are to making mistakes. So try to get them down. Again, bring a bleed champion or someone who hits very hard, just to get Spider-Gwen down as fast as possible. And like I said, the next champion that we have is Miles Morales, Spider-Man, which is he's very easy to play around. The only thing you really have to watch out for is those initial 5 evade charges that he starts the fight with. He will use them pretty often, but once he gets down to 2 or 1 charges of evade, he probably won't use them or use them very sparingly. Again, just don't use your specials here. I'm using Wolverine, who just the way he's built, you probably don't want to use his specials at all either way, because he regens more when he has more power. But that being said, you just want to get this guy over with too. Don't really worry. The notes that he's on don't really affect the champion as much, because you're not going to be getting hit that much. And again, just him and Spider-Gwen, just try to get them down as soon as possible. They shouldn't be any trouble at all, even if they once you get higher into the fights, especially the very last path that you have, they're going to have a lot of health. But if you bring in a bleed champion, they should go down fairly easily and fairly fast. And again, I want to stress that, get them down as fast as possible, because the longer the fight, the more the higher the chance you'll make a mistake. The next champion that we have is probably the one that you'll have the most problems fighting, and it's Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. Now this guy, the thing that makes him really difficult is the fact that he's stun immune. Initially I was using Agent Venom to beat him, but I did have to revive Agent Venom at least twice to get him down. So I actually decided to try out Drax after I had completed everything, and he actually did very good against Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. So as you can see, since he is cosmic, it doesn't matter if it's a heavy or a medium or a light, the AI shuts down and has to do that cooldown phase until it gets rebooted, because Drax is a cosmic champion. Don't use your specials. Do not use your specials. There's no reason for you to use your specials at all, since Spider-Man will probably evade them, since it's a pretty high chance. As you can see now, Spider-Man is about halfway down to his health, and this is where you have to be very careful, as he gains a 7% increase on his passive evade. So now it goes from 3 to 10%. So be very careful fighting him. Another thing that puts Drax above the rest is that he has that double hit medium attack. So even if Spidey manages to evade the first hit, the second will probably catch him. That's why Drax can bypass the Astro Evade that Mortal has, and it really does work to your advantage here. So just be very careful. Try to bait out that heavy. Go in after the heavy, and as you can see, I'm actually gonna mess up very bad here, but I did manage to get the win without dying. So yeah, that bleed that Drax has also comes into consideration. I'm gonna try to test out other champions against Spidey SE, so that we can actually see who does the best against him. Now Vulture is actually someone that's very difficult in my opinion. if I had to pick someone that's gonna be the biggest pain to fight, it's gonna be Vulture. The thing is, Vulture is it's very obviously built around a Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. So if you don't have him, um, you're probably gonna have a hard time with him. And it's so easy. I could just say, just evade his specials, and it's easier said than done. And if you've played this guy before, you'll know that it's not as easy to evade. And the reason for that is that he has that L3 bias that makes him just hold on until that L3 loads up. And it can be frustrating, but just pace yourself. The biggest thing with Vulture is just pace yourself. Try to evade. I want to say use a power control champ, but at the same time, the specials are where it gives you openings to hit him. So, but just be careful. I really do think that Scarlet Witch is the best, at least for me. I used Scarlet Witch and she did really good. This isn't the best fight that I used Scarlet Witch with, but she really did do a lot of good. She really did do a good job against Vulture. A lot of my alliance members in the higher that are way better than me actually were using Captain Marvel, and I don't have a high enough ranked Captain Marvel to actually test it out, but I think I'm gonna probably, once I get a few more catalyst tier 3 catalysts to rank up my 4-star Miss Marvel, I'm gonna try that out. But again, just this is not a sprint. That's something I want to stress out. The thing with Vulture is that stun immune, plus he's got a very big character model, so it takes up a good chunk of the screen. So it is a little bit intimidating when he uses the specials and everything. But just take it slow. If you start just making mistakes, if you're reviving and you just get killed instantly, then just take a break. It's not the end of the world. And this is something that a lot of people can relate to if you've ever done Realm of Legends or Labyrinth of Legends or even Road to the Labyrinth. You start getting kind of burnt out after a while and you start making mistakes, and that's what I was doing. I tried to finish this yesterday as soon as possible, and it kind of backfired. It really did backfire. I ended up using way more revives than I had to. And one of the things is, after a while, I just assumed, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I just assumed that Vulture had unblockable specials, so I always try to evade them out for some reason. And I got caught on that SP2 a lot, and it was just not pretty. And I probably, looking back at this, I probably should have stopped playing and just gave myself time to rest up and just come in fresh the next day, because there's no point in trying to rush through this. It's not like you only have an hour to finish it, so just pace yourself. Don't do the same thing I did. I really wasted a lot of units just trying to get this Vulture down. Pace yourself, please pace yourself. Do not try to go in just guns blazing, because you're probably gonna get killed. As you can see right there, Elektra could have finished that off, but I was just so stupid and just played really sloppy. And we see these other people on YouTube, and they have rank 4 or 5 stars and all this. If you don't have those champions, don't go in there expecting that you're gonna get through it in an hour, or that you're gonna clear it very easily. And even then, a lot of those people do need to use revives. So again, just pace yourself. If you're not at that level where you can clear it all in one go, that's fine. This isn't a sprint again. So I did end up getting Vulture down, and I'm gonna keep on testing champions against Vulture just to see who does the best. Right now, Scarlet Witch is probably the person that I'm really vouching for, but I am gonna try Miss Marvel. I did try Drax before, my 5-star Drax, and he didn't really do that much of a good job. I just couldn't bait out that special. But as you can see, I did end up clearing this challenge 100%. And we're actually gonna open up we're gonna open up these crystals here in just a minute. But again, guys, I think this was a great challenge. I don't think it was the hardest challenge we've gotten, but it is definitely a challenge nonetheless. And please do pace yourself. That's the big thing I want to say. Don't try to go in there just make stupid mistakes. If you catch yourself just making mistakes, dude, just stop, take a break, and just come in the next day or a little bit later that day and clear your head and go in there fresh so you don't make those mistakes. So yeah, we got a tech gem right there, which I really didn't care for, honestly. And here we're gonna get another cosmic tier 4 class catalyst, which again I don't care for that much. I've actually been holding a lot of my catalysts because I want to invest in some 5 stars rather than 4 stars, but I just don't have anyone to use them on. And right now we'll see a few of my catalysts, but I am holding a lot of catalysts here, just waiting. But anyway, thank you for clicking on the video. If you guys have any questions on the challenge, please do comment down below. I'd be glad to help you guys out. And other than that, thank you for watching the video. Subscribe, like the video, and thank you for watching.